Peace and light. Grand afternoon, grand rising, Ashe, you know what I'm saying, hotel, you know what I'm saying, Rahu Bat, you know what I'm saying, Assalamu alaikum, however one shall greet the masses of people on this network of the Mind Body Nexus. Welcome all y'all, and I greet y'all in all the universal greetings of the universe. Peace and love. Hotel Rahu Bat. Assalamu alaikum. Whatever you go, however you like to be greeted, I send that energetic welcome, to y'all, to this channel, to the Mind Body Nexus. And this gonna be like really the first in-depth episode that I want to get into. And like I usually let the universe, you know what I'm saying, the guidance of the ancestors, the ether realms, and the spiritual energies to kind of lead me to the topics to really bring forth, because all this that's bringing to the channel is not me, it's the spirit, the divine spirit, the essence of the ancestors of the divine realm bringing me and using my vessel to bring messages that needs to be appointed at a certain time and place at a specific reason and certain topics. And why I'm giving out what I'm giving out today, I don't know, but I'm giving it out because this needs to be given out. And I wanted to touch on something from my Bhagavad Gita. This is the spiritual science book I like to touch on. And this is, to me, it's almost like a base study for a lot of different religious studies, as far as the Quran, the Holy Bible, the Kabbalah, all other texts. This is more like more of a spiritual science text to give you deeper understanding in the mysteries of the spirit and soul. But I like to touch from this because to me it benefits, like we got all different type of universal ways we communicate through our ways of resonating with the spirit. But this text resonated with me. One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, clearly certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. And what this means is we got people who supposedly are in these synagogues, these mass, these churches, that are preachers, that are deacons, that are these holy men, that are these people of character for the public, that are supposed to be these people that wear suit and ties, supposed to have character, they're supposed to hold a certain image for, the social order of things, whether they preachers, whether they doctors, lawyers, police officers, whatever, and things like that. I like this because it's kind of touch on that, but this is going to give it to you in the spiritual sense, but this also gives an understanding that most people can restrain the senses of actions. Like you can say things, you can be a preacher and say you don't fornicate, you don't cheat on your wife, you don't do these things, you don't indulge in negative things, you don't do these things by actions. But who mind dwells on sense objects certainly deludes himself, is called a pretender. Now you got people who might walk away in front of people. You might not see them commit wrong. You might not see them cheat on their wives. You might not see them do things like that. But in spiritual understanding, if you even, your mind and your thoughts even gravitate, even think certain things like that, you already created this karmatic sin in your energetic field by even thinking. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you got some of these, because they say your thoughts become your feelings and your feelings become your actions. So you have these people that hide behind, like titles, you know what I'm saying, preacher and things of this nature, but in their heart they have lust for material things, lust for money, love of money, love of looking at women, lust of talking to different women, thinking of things, of holding anger in their heart, holding judgment in their hearts towards other people and things like that. But they might not be open with these things. So in the public eye and how people move, oh, he's a good guy because I don't see him do no wrong. But energetically, and his thoughts and things make up his energetic field and his soul and things. And you might wonder, well, this is a good guy. He does a lot of good, and this is never why a lot of bad things happen to this good guy and things. Mostly because his energy could be, like I said. I'm gonna get deeper into this. And I'm going to go back over again. So ones who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. A lot of people could say that they walking and they living in the spiritual life, but in reality, people are really living in the material world, because most of the people that go to these churches and stuff, they say they believe in this God, this Christ, this Jesus, whatever they follow. They spiritualists, they spiritual that, but really, in reality, a lot of people go to church and things for material gratification, for sense gratification. They go to church to pray for materials, to look a certain way in front of people, to feel like that they're doing something spiritual, but in reality, once they leave the church and things, their minds back on things of the world. There are many pretenders who refuse to work in Christian conscience, but make a show of meditation. You know what I'm saying? There's people who pray and talk a lot and do things of service as holy men and holy women, but you know what I'm saying, while actually dwelling within the mind upon sense enjoyments. A lot of these people do things for things. A lot of people, you know, like you see a lot of these church organizations giving out stuff to the homeless people. They doing this for recognition that they're doing it. Or they doing it because they believe in their hearts if they doing something that they get blessed with some more materials for them giving out material. You know what I'm saying? So in all actuality, when we in our minds, the way we think we're doing good deeds by action, but really our thoughts and things that we think and the underlying things before it comes to physical reality, what makes up our true intentions, what makes up the energetic balance of what we do. That holds our karmatic weight. You can do something good for a person, but if it wasn't in your heart to do it, you won't build you won't build any fruit from that spiritually, because it wasn't in your intention to hold the door. But you just did that for a thank you but that didn't do nothing for your spirit. But see, when you do things spiritually and not for the sense enjoyment or for enjoyments of things outside self, but just for a spiritual understanding of things, that's when you up your vibration in the way of thinking. Majority of the world and religious and things, they follow people of this world that follow religious orders, mostly follow religious orders for sense enjoyment in a way of life, in order of life not to be renounced, to be shunned away from society, to be shunned away. If you follow this, or if you say you're a Christian, then you bear all the fruits of a Christian. You get the jobs, you get this, you get this, you get that, but if you don't, you this and this and this and that, you shunned, you this and this and this and this and that. So most of these things, I'm going to keep on going into this. Such pretenders may also speak on dry philosophy in order to bless sophisticated followers. A lot of people might speak these high intelligent words, might hold degrees in theology and things of that nature, but in reality, the things that they're doing and the path that they're taking is also for sense enjoyment. But according to this verse, these are the greatest cheaters. For sense enjoyment, one can act in any capacity of the social order, but if one follows the rules and regulations of his particular status, he can make gradual progress in purifying his existence. But he who makes a show of being a yogi while actually searching for the objects of sense gratification must be called the greatest cheater, even though he sometimes speaks of philosophy. His knowledge has no value because the effects of such a sinful man's knowledge are taken away by the illusionary energies of the Lord. Such a pretended mind is always impure, and therefore his show of a yoga meditation has no value whatsoever. In other words, people do all these things and stuff, but they're not really doing things for the spiritual involvement of their spirit, of their soul, with the universe, to connect it with the universal order of things. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing good things. We're not praying and meditating or doing things for, spiritual evolution or spiritual ascension. We're doing things for sense gratification. Maybe if I pray, I can get the things I want. Maybe if I do this, all my guilt will go away. All these things, but we're not doing nothing to pray and do spiritual practices and to educate ourselves in spiritual knowledge and things and apply to advance ourselves spiritually. That way everything else can follow behind it. Instead, a lot of people make show of being holy on Sundays and giving out things in church congregations and things, but all this is really for recognition of a promise of a heaven and a hell after death and things of that nature. But what if it was to say you're creating that energy while you're here now? You know what I'm saying? Because everything's an energetic signature. And that's what all this Mind, Body, and Nexus is really about. This channel of Mind, Body, Nexus is really about to get you to understand the spiritual concept and science behind the things. And not just saying that we're this or we're that, but actually having that energetic or spiritual signature on the things that we doing, being able to bear the actual spiritual fruits of our spiritual practices, our spiritual intelligence, of treating people correctly, and doing things to make our spirit and our souls better, so we can elevate to a higher understanding of higher conscious maturity, should we say? You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people do things, or they make a lot of people, everything that we do, it don't matter whether it's going to work. Most people are driven to go to work because they're promised that dollar when they go to work. You get what I'm saying? Instead of saying, you know what, I know I'm going to get paid when I go to work because that's just what comes with the working. But I'm going to go to work because this is what I like to do. Like, I remember I used to work a job as a chef. I used to cook at this Mexican restaurant on the grill. And just by me having the love and the art of cooking, I used to just like the energetic, just to being able just to say, you know what, I just like to go there and use my good energy just to cook it. This is what I like to do. And it was almost like my way of being in the kitchen and being able to cook and being able to focus on my cooking and take a lot of things off the word that didn't matter and focus on what I had in front of me and cook, and being able to see the customers and stuff pleased by the things I was bringing up, and on a timely manner everything was cooked. And it made me feel good because that was something that I like to do, and it almost made me feel like I was doing it for a spiritual healing, so to speak, and I wasn't focused on working just for the dollar, or working just for a reward, or working just for approval of other people, but working just because that's what my spirit soul wanted to do, and that's what it was peaceful at doing. So that's with anything you do, whether it's writing books, reading books, studying, exercising, whatever you like to do, but not just doing these things for an actual physical result or a sense gratification. Not exercising just to get big, but also exercising because it's a way to take our stress off the spirit. It's a way to take our stress off the mind. You know what I'm saying? Doing practices and things like that, not just to get, recognition for a physical look, but not, doing these practices for the spirit, not doing things for the mind, body, and soul. That's what Christ consciousness is all about. Christian consciousness. It's all about doing things for the spiritual evolution. I'm not only cutting foods out of my diets because, they said it was wrong to eat. I'm cutting foods out of my diet because I know that this food brings out a different vibration when I eat this food, and this affects my spirit, or this affects the energy that flows through me, which affects my emotions, which affects my spirit. You know what I'm saying? So in order to heal my spirit, I want to feed my body good vibrational, high vibrational foods, things that can heal the body, so my spirit and my mind, body, and soul will be in good vibration, which means my moods will be in good vibration. I'll be in better moods by having a better vibration going through the body, by the things I'm putting in it, which brings about a better spirit, which brings about a better aura and good vibration, a healing vibration. So when I go around people, I got a good energy, a good vibration, a good, a good aura. I'm not, depleted of having all this different energies inside my aura, of materialistic energies, of deceit, jealousy, envy, fear, things like that. And a lot of people carry these energies because of the things that they put into their mind, body, and soul, put into their bodies and put into their auras. And they're not understanding, like what this was saying by, one restrains the senses of actions. We can restrain ourselves from saying, I ain't never did this, I ain't never cheated on my wife, I ain't never did this, but you still lust after things of this nature. You still lust and looked at other women, but you're not physically touching a woman, but you're still lusting in your mind after one. You still you say, I'm a Christ going person, or I'm a church going person, but you still have lust of material things. You still have lust, anger in your heart. You still have jealousy in your heart. You still judge people. You still might not physically show these things that you do, but you hold these energies inside yourself, and eventually these energies and things that you hold within yourself will eventually come to surface level. So as below, as above, so below. So you see a lot of people claim that they this and that, but you can see what they're really into by just this observing. Like one guy told me, I'm a preacher. Woo, woo. Okay, cool for you. Woo, woo. But okay, what does that mean to you just because you say that? Now, what are you going to show in your example of being what you say you are? You can say whatever you are, but you have to be an example of what you say you are. If you say you a preacher or whatever you say you are, then be the best preacher that you say you are. Be it by example. Not by saying you something, but you still up there hanging out in a group of people, gossiping with everybody else, still talking about worldly things, this and this and that, this and that. To me, that's just a title. But people don't really live the way of life. They just take on titles. You know what I'm saying? But inside their minds and thoughts is moving on a different energy, which means, because you're not the body, you are the soul, which are the mind, which is the thoughts. Thoughts and things are angels or demons. Positive thoughts are angels, negative thoughts are demons. You become your thoughts. You become your angel, you become a demon. A lot of people might look like angels on the outside, might operate, live a regular life on the outside, but have a whole bunch of demonic ass thoughts going on in their mind, and just for whatever reason, I don't know. You get what I'm saying? So you can have a person that can just be a loving person, but have a hateful spirit. I know people like this. They might seem like they're a loving person by what they give, and they're giving this and giving that, and they're doing this and doing that. They might seem like the nicest person in the world. But under the surface, they have a lot of hatred, jealousy. They have a lot of this going on, a lot of this going on, because their thoughts are not aligned with who they are. You get what I'm saying? And the reason that is because people don't really graduate. People don't really gravitate or gravitate towards spirituality as a science to heal their true selves, which is the soul. But they gravitate towards a lot of this religious and spiritual science and things to manifest material sense gratifications and material abundance and fruitative works. People do things for fruitative results. People are nice for people to be nice to them. People are kind because they want people to be kind to them. People are giving because they want people to give them. But in reality, it's not in their spirit to really do these things, because people operate in the way that they operate in this society because they're promised something. Most of our society, mainstream society, operates in the way that it operates by the promise of something, whatever that is. By man promising man this, if you do this and do that, if you go to work every day, don't question society, you'll have it easy. If you do this or do that or question things and you question the world and you're always talking about this and you take a stand and be who you and be in yourself and don't follow and you want to stand out from society and follow who the universe deemed you to be, then that's when man say, okay, you're going off the circle now. You're going off the grid now. You're going off what we taught you to be, or you're going off the way that we taught you how to think, or you're going off the path of the way that we taught you how to see reality. Don't question reality. Don't ask any questions, because then that contradicts the way that we want you to see it. You're our menace to society. So the real ones that are showing are us that really knows this mind matrix that we're living in. We really know the true science of this thing. We more than what you see on the outside. We are the energetic makeup of what's inside these vessels. You get what I'm saying? So be that made up energy that you say you are. Become that energy that you say. If you're a nice person, become that nice energy by having nice thoughts go through your head. If you're a positive person, be that positive person by having positive thoughts go through your head. If you're a creative person, be that creative person by having creative thoughts go through the mind. Don't be a creative person but have down thoughts or destructive thoughts going through the mind, or depressive thoughts or fearful thoughts, because then you can't become that creative person that you set out to be, because of the energetic makeup of your thoughts. In other words, I like this because that's what it's basically touching on, how one can restrain the senses of actions, but who minds dwells on sense objects clearly deludes himself is called a pretender. We see a lot of that in society, in some of these conscious organizations and some of these groups and things where people are presenting themselves to the world to be a certain person, but their whole form of makeup and the thought process and the energetic makeup is a whole nother person. You know what I'm saying? Because we're energetic beings in physical bodies made up of this plane, and we're not the body. Just like you see some people that have innocent faces that look like innocent people, but can be straight up serial killers. You get what I'm saying? Because they have a chaotic, murderous energy within them, but their bodies might not look the same. Or somebody who might look real thuggish and ruthless looking, this and like that. That's just his physical makeup. But what his energetic print says? He might be the softest, meowest, kitty cat guy you ever seen. He might have tattoos everywhere though, but he's the scariest guy you ever seen. You get what I'm saying? So it's not what the shell represents. It's all about what your energy represents by your actions, your future thoughts and actions, and things of that nature. So that's all I wanted to touch on here on this episode, which I will call the first episode of Mind Body Nexus here on this YouTube channel. It's really just touching on that part of the karmatic yoga process of the Bhagavad Gita. And the reason I wanted to touch on that was all about really, explaining to one how to restrain our senses, how we can restrain our senses from the actions of things that we deem wrong or inappropriate. But if we don't control our minds and our thoughts, we'll eventually gravitate towards these things. You get what I'm saying? So it's all about really working on the inner self first before you make a show of things on the outside. You really have to embody these things. You know what I'm saying? You can be this yogi praying and meditating and this and that and that, this and this and this and that. But if your mind and everything inside of you is not still, and you are not able to still and manifest anything for yourself spiritually by being in these practices, then doing these things basically lacks. You know what I'm saying? Basically, it's no point in doing these practices, spiritual practices, if we're not growing spiritually. It's no sense of doing these things that we deem as good if we're not growing from them spiritually or conscious-wise, or not sinning consciously from them. You get what I'm saying? If these things, these imprints of being good or doing good works is not imprinting itself inside our electromagnetic field, if it's not imprinting itself inside our auric field, and we're not bringing and showing the energies and being able to change and manifest greatness around us as we move into spiritual atonement, we'll practice spirituality, and along with the practices of dietary laws, spiritual practices, meditations, affirmations, positive thinking, and things like this, then we can never really bring forth that divine consciousness that's meant and divinely written in all of us to bring out. So that's what I wanted to touch on. I'm your boy Knowledge of Mind. This is the Mind Body Nexus, and until next time, I'm out.